It is day 17 of talking to the camera. Did you guys know that I have a podcast and that I used to do podcasting all the time? Well, not all the time, but I would do podcasting every week. I would publish an episode, and then I actually have a sponsor for said podcast that actually pays me enough that it covers all of the production. So the software suite that I use, the Adobe Cloud, it pays for that, it pays for podcast hosting, it pays for the website that I have. Yeah, and the funny thing is that the podcast was just basically the exact same thing that I'm doing here on this 30-day challenge, which is just talking about my day. It was just talking about life and pretty much anything and everything. And my wife was actually the one who suggested to me that I start putting the audio on YouTube. And Buzzsprout, who hosts the podcast, they finally got integration with YouTube to where you can do your RSS feed directly into YouTube. So for those of you who have been curious and who've looked and seen the podcast, thanks. I appreciate it. But yeah, so I was uploading just the audio with static images. And the funny thing is that the podcast numbers through Buzzsprout were never really all that good. But YouTube always did better. Even though it was the same audio, the exact same audio that I uploaded to Buzzsprout, YouTube always seemed to do better. Numbers wise. And again, I'm not talking astronomical numbers here. I'm talking, maybe 10, 15 listens per episode on YouTube. So you can imagine through Buzzsprout, I was getting maybe 5. So it wasn't like the podcast was huge. I just enjoyed doing it the same way I enjoy doing the videos and editing this. I guess that's why for me, it's shocking that the videos are doing so well. But my wife, she's kind of gloating about it because she's like, I told you people like watching content. And I was watching Bjork's vlog today for her 30-day challenge. And she was talking about how fear has prevented her from doing a lot of the same thing, that she works behind the camera and doesn't get in front of the camera. And she unfortunately had to go lay a family member to rest today. And so my thoughts and prayers are with you and your family. I want you to know that. But she got me thinking about the same thing, is that fear is a demotivator, and it prevented me from getting in front of the camera also. I'll talk into a microphone all day long. It doesn't bother me at all. But talking in front of the camera, like I've said before, has always been a thing. So it's really, I don't understand it. I don't understand why video format is doing better than the audio. Maybe you guys can help in the comment section, and you can let me know why you prefer one over the other. I mean, podcast industry is huge. But I say that, and then I think of Joe Rogan, and it's like, Rogan's is a video podcast, really. I mean, sure, you can listen to the audio version of it, but for the most part, people watch the Joe Rogan Experience, right? And it seems like a lot of podcasts now are going to video, and people who were microphone rats like me are now getting in front of a camera and recording the same thing. And it's interesting to me. This has been a very interesting experiment, and I haven't uploaded a new episode for like 3 weeks because I've been so focused on the YouTube side of things. Because it's like, in my mind, I'm thinking, why am I chasing an audience in the podcast realm when I have an audience here and it's active? Y'all are active in the comments, and you look at the community tab and you respond when I post there, and you interact in the videos. And I've gotten 500 of you to subscribe to the channel, and I'm not doing anything different than what I was doing in the podcast. I just have a camera on. So is it just the fact that I'm in front of a camera and you have something to look at? I mean, hi, I guess that's it. But yeah, I can't figure it out. And so I found that I am adjusting and I'm rethinking what the podcast will be. And I haven't quite figured that out yet. There's going to be a continuation of the podcast here on this channel if you're interested, because that's something I like doing. I like doing it. I will just be flipping on a camera when I record the episodes and talking like this. Hopefully you guys will enjoy that too. I've rebranded the podcast, so it's now Gen X POV instead of Memory Bank, which is what it was. And yeah, so I've been thinking about that a lot today, just with the hitting 500 and I'm halfway to my goal of 1,000. It's just, I've been thinking about just how it's like it's like it's a life lesson, right? It's that we have in our minds what we think we want, and then the world has a way of showing us, you may have thought that's what you wanted, but this is where you need to be. So, I don't know, maybe I'll make a long form video about why YouTube and do that for like the first Gen X POV. That's actually a really good idea. Anyway, I know this is a longer one, so if you've made it to the end of the video, thank you. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate each and every one of you being here, and I'll see you in the comments section.